Mute.
Stream.
Get the stream started. Let's do it.
Stream's good. All good. We are live.
From the content creators that are barely considered content creators.
Literally the lowest ever content. Literally the lowest ever.
You know, the extremely biased SHH propaganda guy, and that dude that just does the audio.
Rambo sucks anyway.
The podcast you probably don't want to listen to, but do anyway. You could possibly get kicked from your alliance just for mentioning it.
Just for mentioning it.
No script, no edits, and no censorship.
No censorship.
We want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Maybe try some gate camping or something. Remember not to yeet a carrier into nullsec. Just stop being dumb in general.
You're listening to Echoes of New Eden podcast, your weekly Eve Echoes news and content discussion. Let's get this shit show started.
Yes, and welcome everybody to Echoes of New Eden podcast. Indeed, we come with a new intro for this week, for this episode. So it is I, Rambo, and I am here with Taylor Rick this week. What's going on, Taylor?
That's a good intro. I like that. It is, as Ashiv said, it's scary accurate. It's very, very accurate. So amazing.
Yeah, and
Totally
bless Tom and
unscripted.
Avery. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It's like I tell Tom and Avery to send me some sound clips, and there you go. So they provide.
In fact, it's so unscripted that we actually don't know what the hell we're going to say, and we don't even follow an outline anymore like we used to.
Right.
I remember at the very beginning of this year, we talked about, okay, what we're going to do different for season 5, and is the outline going to stay the same? It's going to kind of stay the same. The consider your suggestion thing's good. We'll put that in there, and that's our basic outline. And we haven't touched that doc ever since. Not a single
Since like
time.
week 2.
Yeah, not a
Yeah.
single damn time. I mean, we're just here shooting the shit.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff is, I mean, it comes up on the fly. Like the stuff that I want to talk about, I just think of right at the time. You know, the points that you make and all that type of stuff it comes up as we're conversing, right? And of course we got people in the audience that engage in conversation, and then, you know, they say something, then that gives me an idea, you know? And so, and here we go. It's completely unscripted. Like it's been unscripted now for going on 3 seasons.
Yep.
And I say unscripted because when I was doing it by myself, I had actually I had edited a document. I read it. I read it as if I was like an official journalist, you know, type of thing. And then I would go into the editing process, and the editing process was just as long as the recording process. It was just like in general, because you got to listen for it second by second.
Right.
And since we changed to this format, it's just so much better. I don't have to spend nearly as much time doing editing or scripting or anything like that. Yeah, it's a job, literally. I'm like, dude, I ain't got time for that, especially nowadays. I just don't have time for it.
Nobody wants to do the editing. Nobody wants to do the editing.
I think this is better anyway because we do a lot more off the cuff, you know, jokes and, oh shit, I might have said something that may have been offset. I don't know, you know, like stuff like that. But then we can look back on it and say, oh, these guys are a bunch of jokers. You know what I mean? So, it's fun. You know, it's fun. We do this in front of the live audience. We have the podcast, of course, and we release it for listeners that enjoy listening to it on their commutes to work, that enjoy listening to something like this during their workday, you know, during the week. So.
Yeah, I even had someone ask us to do a longer show today. Last week's show was too short for them.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to, you know, available stuff to talk about. But then that's when, like that survey I'd posted today. So if you hadn't seen the survey, and this goes for listeners too that maybe don't follow the Discord announcements, I had released a survey. It was supposed to be released last Wednesday. That's how badly I slacked. But this morning, I'd come up with this website. They have the ability to make surveys and all that type of stuff. And so I sent one out earlier. And it's about, I guess, content that we can include in our show, discussions that we can do. And I actually have the results so far after 1 hour, because I posted this about 1 hour ago. I'm gonna refresh this to see how many results that we got so far, and it's refreshing. It's low. So far, I've had 21 results, so this is pretty decent.
Not
You
bad.
know, pretty decent for considering it was an hour ago. And there's a number of questions on here. It's mobile friendly. I made sure that that was a thing before I released it. Also made sure I didn't dox myself because that's a thing too. But I didn't want like my personal email address included in that or anything. But so we made this, and it's like 5 questions. You know, it takes less than a minute to do, but it goes from familiarity to Eve Echoes as to what topics the audience is interested in listening to. Preferred format as to what we do. A lot of people had actually voted a panel discussion. So similarly to
Yep.
what we already do, you know, consider the hosts as a panel. We have guest hosts and all that type of stuff. Basically, it's a panel. So a majority of our audience likes that. So that's cool. And then question number 4 was for topics that we can be talking about during, say, a roundtable segment or in general. You know, a lot of this stuff I've seen, and so far we've gotten a lot of good stuff in just seeing some of the answers so far as to what we can be talking about. You know, some of them include, let's see here, why other alliances don't talk. I don't know. But let's see, upcoming releases, speculation, drama, kills. Like, we talk about that stuff. People want more Taylor Rick photoshops. Let's see, indie roundtable. So that's you know, that's requested. Implant balancing, strategy for solo play, how the future of Eve Echoes can be saved. You know, a lot of these topics we can actually go pretty in depth on, and I like that. So
Yeah.
the survey's still young, and it's pretty good so far. So I like it. I like it. And yeah, so basically, going on with the show content is we got no announcements from EE official. We have a very small patch notes in which we'll cover, and as to why I'm not going crazy, as I wasn't going crazy last week, as maybe some people thought I was, about the corporation being broken. We had a couple mess ups last week with the audio.
Yeah.
Taylor's end was low on the YouTube side, so hopefully that's corrected.
It
And
should
then
be.
I
mean,
did
it's
it
showing
again.
is on my end, but we'll see.
I did it again, even though I knew that it was an issue. The previous time that I had done the podcast is I had a sound clip still in my final export. It was for audio. You know, there's audio malfunction or whatever, and it comes with a loud beep. It happened right during the Consider Your Suggestion segment on the last episode. Like right, I'm like, dang it! I thought I cut it out, but I hadn't cut it out. So this time, hopefully, I remember that. If I don't, then it'll blow somebody's ears out or car speakers later on in the show. So I freaking have to remember to take that out this next time when I'm exporting. So there's that.
All right.
Okay. Then I suppose I kind of do want to do a roundtable today. I see Ashiv's in the audience. We got Hale in the audience as well as Bradrick. You know, I'd like to have these. I'd like to have them on as guests. You know, and maybe we can pull just a random survey question from the survey I just posted an hour ago, and we can actually have our first kind of open roundtable discussion on a topic. You know, I think that would be cool. We could do that for the first time in this format. So, and then as well, I'll invite whoever's in the audience that wants to unmute and join. We can give them the ability to talk and say their points. So that'll be cool. So getting right into it, they didn't have any announcements, and it's been exactly 1 month since their last announcement. And I'm still curious as to when they're going to release their new community manager as an announcement, but we may not ever know. So the patch notes coming up, and really all these latest patch notes from June 26th was bug fixes. So just a number of bug fixes here. We'll run through these here.
Well, that was
They
really
had
that's
fixed-
part of their normal cadence. Is that this last week was a low week for that sort of thing.
Yeah. So then next week we could probably figure that they're going to implement maybe some sort of content or do something.
Well, it's the 4th on Thursday, so the Wednesday's the 3rd, and the
They don't
event that they
celebrate
have
4th
going.
of July.
Yeah, so the event I understand that, but the event they have going doesn't end until the 10th, which is the week after. So I think we're going to be in one of those weird weeks where we have 2 weeks in a row without a whole lot of stuff dropped, and then the week of the 10th of that during that update, that'll be bigger.
Right. So, yeah. And curious as to see what's all going to be, included in that update. If there's anything that they missed or it said in their AMA discussion as to what's going to be released as far as upcoming content in this next month, right? So, shoot. It's July already. Holy crap.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, it's almost August. It's almost the 4-year anniversary.
Yeah. So I mean, if you really go back and here's a good way to do this. If you look at the calendar, pulling it up real quick. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patches until we get to the 4th anniversary, because the 13th falls on a Tuesday. So if they're going to do anything big on the anniversary update, they could do it on the 7th or they could do it on the 14th. So we're pretty close in terms of that standpoint. But I would say this will be the weird 2 weeks in a row without a whole lot going on, because again the event runs until the 10th, and I think at that point is when we'll see a new set of events that'll run through to the 4-year anniversary, all the way out until the 14th maybe. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 weeks roughly in there. And I'm kind of looking for or hoping that there'll be some sort of building event that's tied into that, because it's my understanding that Keep Stars are going to be coming between right now, possibly this week, and out to the 14th of August. So somewhere between now and then, we'll see a big patch update with Keep Stars. Is my prediction on that end of it.
Plus, next month they'll probably release some sort of maybe corporation parade type thing again, announcement, sign up, qualifiers as to who can even join. We don't have really any Inscription of the Galaxy winners from this last year, unless you include this event. You know, and they're like, oh, well, Inscription of the Galaxy winners get to, partake in this next year's parade. And then everybody else probably has to do like a buy-in or something, or sign up or something, because that's how it was last year. There was a sign up as well.
It was totally screwed up last year. I don't know if they would even try to do the parade again, honestly. I mean, if I was them, I wouldn't, unless they've seriously spent time to fix it. I mean, the Corporation Clash doesn't even work right, so
Yeah, Lasai. I just don't know, man. I just don't know if they've even spent the time on that. Whether or not we'll get a song this year. Yeah, it's questionable. But maybe we'll be seeing that type of stuff in the next month. So, okay, let's get with these bug fixes here. Did you pull them up for the stream so we could chat about these here?
No, I didn't, but I can.
Okay. So, bug fixes include: they fixed an issue where the industrial manufacturer requirement for the bomber battleship was missing its prototype ship. They fixed an issue where the shield recharge time of the bomber battleship was erroneous. They fixed an issue where deflection absorption mode might absorb too much energy, resulting in excessive damage. So that was part of that. That's the special mode in the core. Mm-hmm. The whatever it was called, Tech Machina, whatever that core was called. I can't even remember now.
The Termina Echo? Termina Echo, yeah.
Termina Echo. Fixed an issue where the damage number might not be displayed when weapons deal damage. Yeah, rip there. Fixed an issue where it might become unresponsive when moving fighters to inactive ships. Okay, can't say I've seen that one. Fixed an issue where the ammo hold might be unresponsive when splitting bombs. And here's this one. This one, I'm not going crazy on this one. Fixed an issue where the corporation management skill was ineffective. Like, how does that break? Why is it just that one skill that breaks?
Yeah, I don't understand
weird.
that. That's such a weird thing. And I would have thought that maybe that meant that the whole corp tech now applies when the CEO's not online, but that's not fixed either. And in fact, we discovered another bug with this whole personnel expansion thing this week, which was Kawari and I had to switch the CEO positions so I can get one of my alts back into Corp, who's also in the same login as Taylor, so there's no way to ever put him in if I was holding the CEO spot. Before we did that, our upper limit was 241. Switch it over to Kawari, and all of a sudden our upper limit is 282. We have the same
What?
skills, and we have obviously the same corp tech, but we have the same skills as well, 555. It took that plus 41 from the corp tech and added it again for the new CEO. And then when it came back to me, it went back down to 241. We haven't tried it to go back to her to see if it puts it back up to 282, but it'll be hilarious if it does work that way. It's just so stupid.
That's interesting.
Talk about
How does
spaghetti
it stack
code.
like that?
Yeah, talk about spaghetti
Yeah.
code. I don't understand. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, they broke something with that. But like when it came to patch day, when we had people trying to get into Corp, and we couldn't because literally if you looked up the Corp, it said it was max 52 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We're like, there's no way we can have 200 plus. There's no way.
Yeah.
Was it a Corp Tech thing that was broke? Was it CEO just lost Omega? No, that's not the case because we were brainstorming as to what could have been the issue. And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong. Nothing changed
Right.
aside from the game updated. And then, yeah, so here we are. They fixed an issue with the corporation management skill. I
Yep.
guess it was ineffective, even though people had it. So that's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. So in this last week, I haven't played too much. I've just been busy, but I've been seeing a lot of people winning on the Inscription of the Galaxy leaderboard. You know, people are getting capitals and bar guests and all this stuff. People are still spending money on the event.
Yep.
And getting those rewards and stuff. And I have to see. I may have not been on Discord as much as I usually am this last week, but I do want to see. I did see some chatter about people using the new nanocore as to the deflection absorption mode, as to how that works and all that type of stuff.
I don't
How
think it
good
was
is
working
basically.
up until this patch, but I don't think it was working right.
Yeah, maybe that's why we didn't hear too much about it, because
Yeah.
it wasn't working correctly. So yeah, I don't really know too many people that got this. I did see people with the bomber battleships, I think, with this.
Yep.
Did the bombers come with this? Yeah, I think they did. So they spent some decent coin to be able to get that stuff. But
Well, the bomber battleships come in the main event thing you just unlock, like this last week is when it all unlocked at like level
Right.
20 or something.
Right.
So those weren't too difficult to get a hold of. I mean, it's what is it, $20 or $15 to unlock that?
I think I spent $2 because I had AUR from previous events left over. So like, yeah, I think I paid literally $2 for the additional AUR that I needed to get
Not
the
bad.
event unlocked.
Worth it.
So, but yeah, this week I hadn't actually updated that, but I should be getting that as well. I'll probably do all that stuff later tonight, but and get all the rewards. More so, I want the skill points. The bomber battleship is cool and all, but I really just want the skill points.
Yep.
I haven't even tried bombs yet. I haven't tried anything with that type of stuff.
Really?
Or ammunition in general. I just haven't done it. Yeah. So it's not really my thing to do, I guess. I don't know.
I built a couple. I got a couple of bombers set up, and I haven't really gone out and done much with them, but I've gotten a few things built and set up so that I can. But I haven't had a whole lot of time for fleet work type of stuff. We got a lot of things going on the back end, both in Corp and at the Fed level, that I'm trying to update on and get ready for. Obviously, with the 4th of July long weekend for U.S. anyway, next week will be a little slow, a little light on certain things. But once we get back from that, there's a couple of projects that got to be hit hot and heavy. So,
yeah. Yes, indeed. So let's see. As far as Discord stuff, I don't want to leave. Patch notes, that was it. That was posted by Maru, by the way, a new CM that nobody knows, and seems to be very unresponsive in DMs. Just saying.
Same thing to the moderators on that Discord as well.
I'm just not hearing good things about the CC program, anything really, and looking at the amount of reactions that this last post had got, I mean, it's very minimal. It's like nothing's happening over there. So it's crazy to hear.
Well, they only have their own moderators to blame for that Discord being as dead as it is. I mean, that all went downhill way back when the moderators lost their freaking minds. So from that point on, that Discord's useless.
Are they jacking up the Duo Omega giveaway stuff again?
Yeah, it's not effective. I'm not even doing it. I don't think nobody's doing it anymore because it's screwed up. Nobody gets their. It's like it's 2 hit or miss. You can't sit there and waste your time, doing all that, coming up with however you're giving them away. The trivia side for me, trying to come up with all that stuff, and then have to have it in a spreadsheet, track it, follow up, ask the person if they got it or not, go back to the community manager who doesn't ever respond to you, maybe say something to the moderators, then they go and try to talk to the community manager who also doesn't say anything to you. So it's kind of like it's a total waste of time, and all you wind up doing is pissing people off because they don't get what they expect to get.
Right.
So
yeah, there's a lot of people that probably play month to month, right? And so if you promise them a Duo Omega, and then they don't have to worry about paying for Omega for the next month. But then it never gets sent out, and then they're asking, well, why? And then they ask you, and you're like, well, I don't know. I sent your info.
What am I supposed to do? Yeah.
I mean, it just gets lost in space. It just fairy dust. It's gone.
Yep, totally gone.
So, it's almost like giving them a voucher. Here's a voucher for a Duo Omega, and then maybe eventually we'll cash it in, and you'll get it. Maybe, but
maybe,
and maybe they expire too. Yeah, maybe. So, I know Juby was kind of frustrated with that this last week. He had an announcement on his Discord about at least not doing the giveaways anymore because of the uncertainty that the unreliability that there is of even getting them. So no point. And one thing that I wanted to touch base on real quick too, that we forgot to talk about it, we'd actually mentioned it in the after show last week, was with Mario and the Moby bot. Is he had sent out an announcement saying that he was going to implement that bot into QQ. And you ask, what is QQ? Right?
Yep.
It's the social. I'm just going to say, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say it's the social media platform for the Chinese community.
Yep.
Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's similar to Discord, but how we use Discord is probably how they use QQ. And so Mario is implementing a feature to have a kill bot on QQ. And so then we'll be polling their kill mails as well. Now there's the whole difference, is this the Chinese server or is this the Aurora, the international server? There are ways to determine the difference because they each come with an ID, and the IDs, of course, don't match. So I figured that he probably has a way to be able to filter that out and get the accurate, international numbers versus, say, the Chinese server specifically type stuff. So that'll be a cool feature to see that stuff coming. I'm glad he's working on projects like that.
Yeah, it's great.
And continuing to make Moby like literally one of the best things that you could add to one of your discords as far as bot goes and Eve Echoes related stuff. So that Killbot is amazing. Plus he's got the website behind it too. So
Yep.
very cool. Now before the show, you did mention the meta show. And
I did, yeah.
And kind of okay, so why do we bring this up? So we've had Brisk on the show in the past, and we're kind of talking about the differences of EO, versus EE, content, whatever. But the meta show is I consider it a pretty good, a well-produced podcast in general.
Yeah.
Not only is it for EVE Online, but in general, it's a very well-produced podcast, and that was under the management of Brisk. And so, I listen to it occasionally. I was subscribed to it, and so when I'm not listening to this show, or if I'm not listening to some of the comedy podcasts I listen to, I'm listening to that, or I'm listening to maybe just music or whatever. But in the previous weeks, I've noticed a decline in the production value. They've had hosts that maybe don't have good mics, or they're just not as experienced as just being like the host or moderator of a podcast platform. So and it showed. And when Marky Mark had left the show, that was a hit. And then when Brisk left, I was like, oh shoot. And then they brought in their special hosts, and Brisk would go out like he just wouldn't do an episode for whatever reason, and they would bring in one of the other guys to do it. And of course they have accents. It's like it's different than what you're used to. It's not bad, but it's different than what you're used to.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I just don't think that they're on par as to what they used to be.
No.
As far as a podcast like that. So to your point, should we do an EVE Online podcast and just wing it? I literally know nothing about EVE Online. I
know
don't
enough
play
to be
it.
dangerous, yeah.
I don't know anything about corporations there. I don't know the people, nothing about that game whatsoever. So I'll just do the audio stuff. How about that? I'll just I'll just sit in the background, maybe throw a couple sound bites in there. But maybe it's an opportunity to start up an EVE Online podcast. I'm not opposed to that. I could do audio work for a side gig. It's not as long as I don't have to host it, I can do audio work. You know what I mean? So that'd be very interesting. I don't know. Maybe Taylor, you could do something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't even have the time for it. You don't even have the time. We couldn't even do our Starfield project that we wanted to do.
No
which
kidding.
I still do play that.
I don't.
Like we had all these ideas to start a Starfield podcast and kind of do the similar thing what we're doing here. I don't even know if you're playing Starfield still.
I'm not. No.
I am occasionally. So I spend about 2 nights a week on Xbox roughly. So and then I like to play Starfield, and I actually have been playing Fallout again. And we'd finished the TV series, and so I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna try Fallout 76 again, and start there.
Yeah.
And they got free content, and all this stuff, and so I've been kind of doing that type of stuff too. But I just don't think we could do another show on top of this. We just don't have the time. But it is what it is.
Yeah, Hale makes a good point about Starfield. No Man's Sky is everything that Starfield wanted to be. Now, if you played No Man's Sky at launch, that game was freaking nothing like what it was supposed to be. I still enjoyed it, but it was rough. But I kept playing it, and man, over time they kept adding, they kept iterating. And then for a short period, it became completely freaking unplayable with too much crap on my PlayStation. It just wouldn't do it. So I had to start over again from scratch after having like 300 hours into one save. I just deleted it, started from scratch, and then it worked. Everything worked fine. But there came a point when they reset things so many times it was just unplayable on the same save from launch, which was a travesty, but it's fun. I've probably played that more in the last year than I've played Starfield. I mean, and we're only talking about a couple of hours, if that. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. But
and since we started the let's talk about other games segment, I own No Man's Sky. I played it a little bit. My wife and her sister, she played it, and she's like, "Hey, let's play this together. We can play it together. We can all build bases on a single planet and all this stuff, right?"
Right.
Well, I play it, and then immediately my game was ruined, and here's why: is because I ended up playing with people that were at that point playing for a year plus, already experienced basically. And when I get into the game, I get everything given to me, like end game stuff given to me right on day one. There was no grind for it. I could build a base. Here's the tools. Here's a ship, or here's the credits to buy a ship, and make sure you roll it right so you get the best one that you could possibly buy with money, all that type of stuff, right? And so on day one, it was immediately ruined for me. But I still tried it. I still played it a little bit even after that. I started doing the whole building thing. I like the fact that you can build underground. What I didn't like about it, and I didn't play it when it first released. I was after its issues era, let's just say. And I would go to a random planet, and everything was like, it to me, it was unrealistic. I would go to a planet, and there's like pink ground. Like this planet is completely pink. And the trees are blue. And the things that are flying have one wing. Like, it was super weird to land on a planet and be like that. Now, I get some of the stuff, like the mechanics of being able to navigate and all that type of stuff was cool. Being able to build underground, above ground, however you want was cool.
Yeah.
But I think the unrealistic planets for that killed it for me, on top of getting everything on day one. I didn't have to grind for it, which probably led to not having fun, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But in Starfield, comparatively, I don't really necessarily need anybody else to play that game. I could just play it solo. I play it on my own time. I could pause it, and it pauses in real time. Like, nothing happens in that time. You land on a planet like Mars, because you can.
Yep.
And you explore it, and guess what? It actually is a good artist rendition of Mars. Like, that's what it looks like, atmosphere and all. That's what it looks like.
Right.
Granted, Sidonia is a figure of make believe, but then you go to moons, or you go to other solar systems that are actual real solar systems.
Yep.
So I just find Starfield to be more realistic. I'm comparing it to No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is probably fun.
Yeah,
but it just wasn't for me. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and even then, Starfield's got the grind for it too. I'm like level 87, and you can go up to like level 300 or something like that.
I don't even know what that means.
I still
Starfield. That's how much I like played up until a point where I got stuck in a loop on an outpost where I'm trying to get through an outpost of some kind, and I keep dying, and I just threw my hands up, and having logged in, I mean, I did it like 6 times in a row. I can't get through the damn thing. I just said, yeah, forget it.
Well, I keep going through Unity, and when you go through Unity in New Game Plus, because it implemented all of that, you restart basically from scratch. Though you're considered Starborn, you restart completely, but then it gives you like extra dialogues. So like, I'm doing missions over again. I've already done it, but it gives like an extra Starborn dialogue, and it's like, believe me, I've done this before. I can do it, type of thing. Because they're questionable, because the people that are offering the quest, like, they don't know you've done it before. But it still gives you the option to say, I've done this before. Believe me, we could do this again. It'll be 100%. It'll be good. I know it. So I enjoy Starfield. I think it's a great game. I occasionally go over to the Bethesda Discord in the Starfield channel, and I do two things. I say Starfield is the greatest game ever made, and somebody please make a dirt bike as a mod, and I will pay real money for it. Because there's nothing like doing a little brapping on a moon somewhere and just getting some sick air. You know what I mean? Anti-gravity air. So that reminds me of some old school MX Unleashed type games where they had that reminds me of that PC game where it was a dirt bike game and they had a moon track, and like you'd hit this jump and you'd go forever because it's all zero gravity type stuff. Yeah. No, it wasn't Excite Bike. It was a computer game. It wasn't MX Unleashed, but it was some motocross game for PC. Like Windows XP era. Yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, not really too much else going on in the world of Eve Echoes, though. I mean, we kind of got sidetracked.
Yeah.
But really, this week is kind of a lull week anyway. So
this week, and
even then, when it comes to
next week too. Yeah, I kind of speculate the next week.
Yeah.
I could be surprised, but just looking at the timing, the fact that there's an event still going until the 10th, I'm willing to bet that next week is a lull one too. But even in game though, there's a lull in terms of just one community versus another. There's no major fighting going on ever since the two major back-to-back form-ups for Bazi. It's been relatively quiet. There's just been some gangs going around, small gangs going around killing capitals. There hasn't even been any major form-ups. I think CTA-wise, we had the lowest number of CTAs inside of the Fed all year for sure, but probably in over a year. It's the lowest we've had for forever, probably since before the server war. That summer and fall leading up until the server war started was pretty slow too, but this one's really slow. So, yeah, it's summertime, getting ready to go into a major holiday for U.S. It is kind of what it is, but so find content where you can find content. I had another corporation clash today versus Trog. If you were listening to the show last week, you know that we did very, very well against Trog. It was a last minute, oh shit, the timer's wrong as far as when we're forming up, so both sides had to scramble. And we had a 20 versus 54 last week, 20 in big and 54 versus Trog, and we beat him pretty handily. This week we had like 18 or something like that versus their 44. Or maybe closer to 50. I forget the exact numbers, and we got our asses handed to us so bad it's almost embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, but it's pretty bad. We got shellacked. We got shellacked really, really hard. Points wise, battle score wise, it's pretty pretty bad.
So they came prepared this time.
They came prepared this time. The timer was right. We were all there at the right time. They were prepared, and we got shellacked. The way that we probably anticipated getting shellacked last week and didn't. So, but it is what it is.
All right.
But it was fun. Anybody who's going to do Corporation Clash, just know that there's some mechanics of that don't work. Like on your supers, you're going to only get a couple of tubes that work and the rest won't. So rip your fighters. That happened again today. So
rip.
Yeah.
All right. So now I kind of want to just segue into doing a roundtable, just kind of off the cuff here since our survey had gone out, and to remind people that may have joined a little bit later or are listening on the show, I had released a survey on the Discord for people to take regarding some of the show topics and discussion. And one of the questions in which I'm polling questions for future roundtable discussions. And then we'll eventually be getting guests for these special guests, maybe persons of interest, say, quote, experts on future topics and doing that type of stuff now. So we're going to open up to the audience. And for those with microphones, for those who want to join in on this random roundtable, we do not know what topic we're going to be discussing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to partake in this, participate in it, please raise your hand to speak. We'll get you onto the show here, onto the stage, and we'll get this roundtable kicking here. So I do want to invite Hale and Achieved on since they are in the audience. I'm not checking the on-air chat if there's people requesting to do this. Yeah, here. This will be fun. Yes, here we go. This will be fun. I need to get the. Since then, we've actually had more survey. More people have done the survey. So.
Hale. It's like 1 minute.
Come on, Hale. Come on, Hale.
He's gaming while we're doing while he's listening to the show.
Well, he ain't sleeping, so I guess that's
Yep.
a good thing for
Yep.
us. All right. So invite to speak. I want to invite Achieved if he's able to join, and then as
There
well
he
as
is.
anybody else that wants to come up. What's going on, Achieved?
Hey,
Give us a mic check.
I'm here.
Hey, man.
Cool.
What's up?
How's it going, man?
Welcome.
Dude, I'm enjoying the show.
Good.
Sitting on the
Awesome.
side.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, it's good.
Sweet, man. Are you excited to participate in the first roundtable we've had on the show since like season 1?
I'm as excited as I can be because I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. I don't even know
That's
what
the
it
point. That's the point. We don't either. We're just gonna
Yeah.
sit here and we're gonna bloviate for another like hour or something. I don't know.
is. Right. We still have consider your suggestion to do too, so we
We
can
do,
kind
we
of
do.
roll that into consider your suggestion.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
can come up with some decent content here. Was waiting on Hale, but I don't know what Hale is doing. Has there been anybody else that's requested to come on here? Nespel,
Not that
you wanna
they've
come on?
said- Not that they've said in on air chat anyway.
Okay. I think Hale is still trying to get his stuff together there. Yeah, granted, he wasn't prepared. I get that. So
It's okay.
we
It's
could
okay.
wait a couple minutes for him. But meanwhile, going back to the survey, actually quite a few people decided 5 people had decided to skip the question regarding specific topics on the podcast. So maybe it's just not their cup of tea. Maybe they just listen just to fall asleep to it, which is okay. So the ASMR, what is it? ASMR?
ASMR. Yeah.
Yeah, just listen to background noise.
There's Hale.
There we go. Oh, my
There you go.
microphone's
What's up?
on the floor.
What's up, Hale?
There we go. Had the microphone on the floor as well.
I'm gonna invite Bradrick too.
All right. Cool.
And did Nestival say that he was gonna join?
I think so.
Falling asleep. Let me send him an invite as well. Yep. Okay. Go to the stage. All right.
What's going on?
And What's up, Bradrick? Invite to speak.
Nothing much.
Enjoying your Sunday evening, I hope,
Most definitely.
as we all are. Yes.
Cooking is
Thank
going
you.
on.
What's up, Nestival?
Hey, driving.
Yeah.
Nice.
Chilling, driving. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Headed to Ohio.
Yay. The land of nothing.
Yeah. Just parked.
All right.
No one
So-
entered with ahoy there, mateys. Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Ahoy there.
Hey, we have to get past that. We so have to get past that.
We just need more sound effects in general. I can't believe I haven't been hitting the soundboard.
Oh my gosh, that lady.
This entire
that poor
time.
lady. That poor lady. She got fired or something?
She did.
Supposedly she
Yeah.
supposedly she was going in was trying to become a teacher or something, or was a teacher, and decided that
She was
a
teaching
night out
already.
on the town. Yeah, what's she teaching? I don't know.
Creative art.
That's so.
I guess
supposedly
she's
she
making money
got
off
fired
her
from her
merch.
job.
I don't know. I think she's making money off
Oh,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
I was telling somebody she's out there signing hats and shirts and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big thing. There's
Yeah.
memes all over the place. So Hale's got the stunner shades on
There you
as
go.
well.
Look at
nice.
him might as
go.
well join in. It is
Yeah, there you go.
suspiciously dark now.
Yeah. Don't worry, I haven't been able to see my computer screen since we started the show, so don't worry about that.
So what's the first
All
thing
right.
on the survey you want to have us all talk about in this panel?
Well, I'm going to scroll through the answers basically, and when my mouse lands on one, that is going to be it.
Okay.
And of course, it's got to be a topic that's, I guess, topical. Like there was one answer that just said things. Just talk about things. Like we can't just talk about things. So how are we supposed to talk about?
Already done that.
Okay.
Put it on the wall. Pick.
Serious inquiries only, please. But so I'm doing the random. Okay. All right. We got a topic. I like this one. Okay. Strategies for solo play. Strategies for solo play.
God.
Okay.
I know a lot of people play this game solo, right? People that do there's like large corporations and teamwork and everything that's involved with that type of stuff. But then you also have, like, say, solo PvPers. You have people that do exploration. Captain Benzie, for a majority of his career, I think, was solo at everything. I don't think there was any teamwork, anything in that.
Oh, there was teamwork, all right. There was people feeding him ships and fittings for him because he didn't have money.
There you go.
Because he didn't play the game.
Patreons. Consider that the Patreons, right? So let's talk about solo play and strategies. And I had already actually just come up with a couple of them there too, just from people that I see playing the game, either just in Discord discussions, corporation members. I see, they like to do some members just like to do their own thing. So what are some strategies to the panel of guests here
I have
for
one.
solo play?
Nessa will go
ahead,
for
Nessa.
it.
And this not only goes for single player, but it rises to the very top. Always use a scout. Use your alts. Don't be that guy jumping in willy-nilly.
All right.
I mean, I get a good kick out of not having ults and just flying completely blind.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Who needs a scout?
I
Just
like
eat
the
that
guy who
Science
does
C
that.
gate to gate.
I think the
I
question
remember
is
in the old
about
Depends what
days.
you're
having
flying.
one account.
Go ahead, Hales. What
Isn't
was
it?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember back in the old days when my corporation back in the day, SHG, joined Silent. We moved as part of Eternal Armada up into Branch. This was like at the end of the first Firefly War. And I remember moving up an outpost all the way up into Branch from Toranos in a Bestower with just a cloak and inertial stabilizers. No scouts, didn't have access to the SSH intel channels at the time, just completely blind all the way up. It was brilliant. No blockade
Sounds
running
fun.
skills, no covert ops cloaks, no scout. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you bring up an era of the game that I remember quite fondly was when Eternal Armada had joined SHH. And under ER Doc, they'd kind of like they had brought down basically the remnants of them are in the Corp GRA basically nowadays. But that whole alliance when they came up to SHH and started living up there in Branch, yeah, that was quite unique. I used to talk with the alliance leaders of Eternal Armada quite a bit back in the day when there was definitely a lot more alliances out there, a lot more disputes. Of course, they had their problems out there in Fountain, or I think they're in Aquarius, huh? They're in
Yeah,
Aquarius.
the Aquarius Coalition.
So, yeah, so a lot of stuff has happened since then. Isn't it crazy? And you talk about the Intel channels too, because none of that stuff was even. I don't even think that was a thing back. Well, maybe it was. Yeah, maybe custom channels has always been a thing.
Yeah.
They
They didn't work very well.
but-
You had to always relog into them. But I mean, I still have access to the one that was the Xert Intel channel, which was 2 jumps away from nullsec, but Pravi nullsec.
Right.
That was a low sec station we tried to rad in and mine in to get the next level of materials as cruisers were being unlocked all the way back then.
Yeah, crazy. But to
remember
steer the
when the
conversation a little
bowlers-
bit,
I remember when the bowlers started coming out, it'd be using a little throwaway ship just to catch the prey for a single player.
Yeah.
Those were the days too. I remember when those came out too. To go back to our topic here though, with solo strategies for solo play, like is using a scout necessarily solo play? Unless I don't really think
if you
so.
got
I
two
think,
accounts, it is. If
Multiple
it's just
accounts,
you
it
with
is.
two accounts, sure it is. Yeah. Sure.
yeah, but then I guess here we can define what's considered solo play, right? Is it just you, or is it a single account?
No, it's you with whatever accounts you bear to bring. That's you. That's solo
Okay.
play.
Well, people solo play corporations.
Yeah,
People solo play
some people do.
gate camps.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
I mean, I think.
But
Okay.
there's a difference between somebody who's got one account and mediocre skills and someone who's got multiple accounts and really knows what the hell they're doing. Both are solo play, but one is going to have a leg up over the other, obviously, just because of the experience and the accounts that go with it. So, I mean,
Right.
really, at the end of the day, this game is just as playable solo as it is in a corp. You're just going to get more community. You're just going to get more out of it as a community than you would if you're doing it solo. You could still rat solo. It's called high-sec ratting, right? You can do it with AI and the whole 9 yards and make a lot of money, whatever. So there's only a few things that kind of come that you can't do if you're solo. And that is...
There's always stuff you can't do.
Yeah, there's always stuff you can't do. But, I mean, even then you could probably still do it if you tried hard enough, which is you could still do Sea and Deads. You could still run riffs. You could still do that in low-sec or whatnot with you, yourself, and I. It just isn't going to be as enjoyable. I mean, like Bradrick was saying, exploration is still solo. That's always been a thing. Bombers are still solo play, although anymore it's very difficult to do something solo like that in a bomber and get any kind of traction anywhere. There's too much shit stabbed. There's too many different people with fast reaction, intel, all that. So
that's the thing with that. Anytime you go out and you're trying to do like any kind of solo hunting and stuff, it gets really, really difficult. With defense, response, scouting, they see you. They see you like 10 jumps out, that kind of stuff. So it takes, you get better results with a team.
For sure.
Yeah, well, the game is made to be played with friends, and
Yep.
It's actually not a solo game. So trying to achieve like a solo gameplay is actually really hard. I mean, I do solo myself, but not everything is PvP. You can play this game as like I would say like an industry or run your own corporation, like just you. But I mean, you are lacking all these benefits that everyone else does get. And I don't know, it's kind of about goals, right? Like, what's your goal with the game? Is the game, like, do you want to have a nullsec and be solo player? It's not going to happen. But as Taylor said, like, you can be in highsec, you can do a lot of stuff there. You can do some roams yourself, but you have to time it right, take them like off guard, or be very fast, so you can move away or attack at the right time. So it's not easy being a solo player, and it might actually not be fun for some people, but it is a multiplayer game, really.
What about the game player who just wants that quick twitch 10-15 minutes of whatever and then log out?
Yeah.
I mean, we do have those players as well.
Yeah, we do. And that's where, faction war games comes into play. That doesn't actually work, but maybe we get it better now.
Word.
So I mean, that's one thing that could have worked for those people, but go like 10-15 minutes. If you staged in high sec and you have to go like a break, 50 minutes play, and you can like run over to null sec and do some PvP for 15 minutes. The distance is an issue too. So it's not a short gameplay game.
I mean,
unfortunately,
you can do exploration in your 10-15 minutes. I do it every so often. I'll log into an alt just spend 10 minutes doing exploration. I'll probably find 2 sites that are worthless, but every so often I'll find one that's good. You can do something in that time frame, but it's not ideal. If you wanted that, what do you call it, like that rush that you get in 10, 15 minutes, you're not going to get that from exploration.
Yeah. The long-term player wants that return for time in, but the other ones who just want to go in and get out, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's hard to cater to everyone. Some people just want to spin their ships, and I mean, I do market. I mean, that's kind of the main thing I do now because I have so little time to play the game. But I'm bunkering up money and ships to do the stuff I want to do when I have time. So this is kind of my downtime, I guess. But yeah, it's not easy being solo. And if you are successful, like with doing whatever you do as a solo player, then I mean, props to you. It's very hard. As we say, Benzi could never do it because I don't know, he hated everything. So, and he's not even playing Eve Online anymore. So yeah,
I noticed
that too. Now he got bored,
Really?
Nothing to do.
That's interesting.
When you're single, you're in an echo chamber. You know, you can never do nothing wrong. No one can tell you you're doing something wrong, and whatever you do is always right because you don't have somebody say, "Hey, man, we're fucking up here."
Yeah, it's a you problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sometimes it's nice to hear that you do wrong. Sometimes it's not.
You have to have that feedback to get better.
Yep.
Definitely.
100%.
So, as far as solo play goes, though, what's considered ideal for solo play? When I think of solo play as this topic would be, is your exploration. Yeah, maybe your 15-minute fix on your lunch break or something at work. I could see running the purple missions in high sec or low sec or null sec if people decide to do
or
that.
a DR.
But a DR, I would do DRs by myself.
Yeah, you can do that stuff on the fly. Like, oh, okay, it's lunchtime. I want to log in, do my daily stuff. Let's do a purple lab mission and make a little bit ISK. That could spawn in right there. You just travel to the site, whether it's 1 or 2 jumps away, and there you go. You get your fix as to your PVE content, or if you do PvP, I could see, and I mean this happens all the time. Is people are using needle jacks, and they are like, okay, I'm just gonna needle somewhere and see where it takes me, and then if they get PvP action out of that, guess what? That just solved their fix. Like they got what they wanted out of it. Right.
The needle jack really helped out. In that.
So and Bradrick makes a point here. Are we talking about making ISK or completing a task? And that in itself is a good question. Because those people that play solo, are they free to play players that have to grind? Or do they just, buy basic Omega, get their fix, and call it a day?
Until they want to do it again and buy another Omega and go out there.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks at a time or something.
I think we have I think we have all types of players. But like what type of players do we have most of in the game?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the stats.
Yeah. I would assume players who like to at least talk to someone at times. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's the majority of the people that are playing this game at this point, and it's a small minority who are solo and don't know anybody else in the game or don't interact with anybody else in the game, maybe aren't even on Discord in their corp or even in a corp. Those are the guys
warriors.
Weekend Warriors. But those are the guys that aren't totally involved with it yet. Maybe
if you think about it, most of the stuff that we have in the game is about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you're gonna go mine, you can mine like 2 ore holes or whatever in 10 minutes. If you want to check your market, it's about 10 minutes, right? Everything is 10 minutes or 15, unless it's PvP or defending a pass or running a fleet. Of course, that's not for solo players.
Solo players are Klingon pissed off at the system and want to kill all humans.
I don't know. Every time I log into the game, it's like, poof, there goes an hour. There's nothing I do in the game that takes 15 minutes anymore.
You got a big ass plate, Rick.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, the Covetor 2s are probably filling their ore holds in 10 minutes, 12 minutes, but not what I do.
Yeah, no, an
So,
Orca's going to take
you know,
25 minutes or something like that.
or
Without
4
the beaver.
hours.
Yeah, if it's got a beaver, it's going to take longer.
With a
Pack
beef
that
mod,
beaver.
it's like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's where those goals come from too, because when you got the gameplay style like that, it's like, okay, can I clear the system of anoms? Are you that good? Are you that skill efficient to be able to do that? You know, can you do it solo? Some people do, which is crazy. But
Well,
yeah, a lot of that play is longer than 10 minutes, though, I think.
On that note, can we switch this up a little bit and talk about the one thing that I think everybody is here for, and that's whether they're a solo player or not, and that's progression. You're playing no matter how you play the game, no matter what type of game you're playing, whether it's mining or exploring or PvP or ratting anomalies or whatever else, it's all about progression. It's all about mining more ore per minute. It's all about bigger ticks per 20 minutes. It's all about higher DPS, yada, yada, yada. And
Not for everyone.
Well, what? Okay, so, progression for you is maybe market, right? How much is in your wallet?
You play a game, any game is better, no matter what it is.
Well, yeah. Of course, I do. I'm just saying some people don't. Like, I have friends who play the game, and they do not min-max everything that they do. They don't care. They just want to, I don't know, listen to the mining beams or whatever. But they don't actually care. So there are those people who actually don't, really want to fight the casual stuff. But yeah, more casual. Yeah.
Even a casual
as we
guy
generally talking about
doesn't have any kind of a goal that they're aiming for. That sounds boring as shit.
Some people don't have. I know, and that's why they quit. Probably.
Yeah.
You're gonna trigger
I would
Rick
probably
and
say
you have no goal.
Yeah.
Snowflakes.
I consider myself a bit more casual, especially nowadays. And even then, I still have goals as to progression in the game, as to how much ISK that I need to make, per tick. What I have as far as assets go. Do I have the best end game stuff yet? And the answer is literally no, because I'm a casual player and it hasn't gotten to that stage just yet. So, like, I have the goals, and of course, when I achieve that goal, then another goal comes out, and then I got to go toward that as well. So
you also have a goal.
The projects never
goal.
end.
Rambo, you also have a subliminal goal.
Yeah.
Which is not to have your wife throw your name out there when you said something that's totally wrong.
Son of a buck. She's super quick at it too. She'll throw me right under. So. And Hale, you say your goals tend to last 1 week.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah. I'm so easily.
And then you have a new goal.
Yeah. It's like, I want to try different aspects of the game, like exploration. There's a lot of money in exploration right now, whether or not people see it or not. But, and that's thanks to supers. But regardless, like, I skilled out of exploration relatively early. I sold my Astero, I sold all my SOE stuff, and I was like, okay, exploration isn't it. I ended up getting out of those skills, and I've been not lacking, but I haven't invested the skills or the money to be able to go back into exploration in, say, 2024 for its current, to be able to get the stuff that people are getting out of those sites nowadays, in which I need or I could sell for pretty decently, considering the market cost on a lot of that stuff. And so solo players, of course, they've been doing that for however long, and they're getting that benefit. But a lot of that stuff, that's just one example in which I just haven't been arsed to go into that route again. I'm still kind of just working on my current goal. Maybe I can make that a goal in the future. I don't know.
Exploration is definitely a long-term task. It's definitely goal oriented, and it's kind of sporadic too with RNG, but you definitely got to invest a lot of time because it is absolutely infuriating sometimes.
Never done exploration, not once. I have
Yeah,
no clue.
Now, how many?
it can be fun. I say fun. Finding stuff is always, exhilarating. It's kind of like a high, but it can be frustrating as well. It's super risky, depending on where you're doing it at. I don't think you're necessarily looking like, oh, I'm going out to look for this thing. It's just like you're just hoovering materials and then bringing them back and trying to survive and seeing what you got when you get back and trying to make other stuff out of it or trying to sell stuff. So it can be fun and interesting, but it needs work. It does need work.
They did a lot with it recently, or not recently, but half a year ago. Didn't they
Yeah.
change it up a bit? Yeah, okay. So I haven't been doing it after that. So is it better?
Um, it depends. You find more sites,
Okay,
but
cool.
the resources in the sites, I think they played around with that, and I think it's worse. You now have to find a lot of sites in order to get decent revenue, whereas before you could explore for 2 days and almost find nothing, and then when you found something,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's six and one and a half a dozen another right now, trying to figure out, what's best for, exploration. Because like again, we were talking about some guys, they want to log on for 15 minutes. And if you go by the old system, you're never going to find anything like that. Whereas,
Yeah.
some guys, they play for 2 to 3 hours and then you just keep finding sites with nothing in it, nothing in it, nothing in it. It could be frustrating.
I can see that, but I
And
think
that's-
that's better than before.
I do think people troll in that essence too.
Yep.
People are doing the sites and then they leave the junk and take the good, and
Yep.
the site stays up
It's a big
basically. So
deal.
yeah, that's probably something
Well,
that
the
they can
problem-
improve on.
Yeah, well, the problem with that is NetEase has to address it because the exploration ships you have to find the sites that like are available in game to actually use to find sites, especially the good sites. You only have so many, and none of those are like considered combat ships. And it's not like you can pin an explorer down if you're exploring yourself. You don't have the mods to do so on your fit. So there's kind of no real answer to dealing with that problem, other than NetEase stepping in and working on how they want to implement hacking.
Well-
Hacking needs work, essentially.
More mid slots.
I have seen that as PvP opportunities, as people have been camping exploration sites simply just
Yep.
to kill those explorers. So yeah, I have seen
You
that.
have
It
to.
happens
You
a
have
lot in the drone regions, by the way. But I see a lot of the kill mails that are coming out of there. A lot of explorer ships that are coming out of there in that case. But
There's a lot of
to
them
think
being
about it too.
killed by bangs as well.
Right. But as far as like an ISK making opportunity, solo play, I mean, AI is kind of,
It is.
it seems like the game is kind of leaning back away from that, trying to get people to burn up their reserves as far as like
Yeah, for
amethyst
sure.
cones and goes, and they're limiting the availability of that stuff to kind of lean back on that. And of course, it had its downfalls, right? It had its issues where it, costed made stuff inflate super high, and just market inflation and all that type of stuff. But I mean, we pretty much kind of nailed, at least from what I could think of, just about everything that you could do solo. I mean, we can go on forever and ever on stuff that you can do as corps as well, but
Oh no, there's more.
corporation, you got industry type stuff too, because like as a solo player builder, you'd have to invest those skills, be specialized, and do that type of stuff too. But then it's like, well, then what? What else
Well,
do
you're
you
building
do?
stuff.
Yeah, but what else do you do?
That's all you do.
I mean, that's your 10 minutes of gameplay, right?
Yeah.
You log
exactly.
in, you put a bunch of stuff in your hangars, you log out. I mean, ovens or whatever you want to call 'em,
Yeah,
and you log out.
Part-time
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
exactly. Part-time job. Looting.
But it's funny.
Going around and looting other people's sites that they're running while they're running them. That's always fun. That's a solo thing to do.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
People are solo loot stealing,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They just had that suggestion. I think we covered it last week. To people are looting high-sec labs. People are scanning down and stealing their loot out of the labs.
yep. And they made the
And let's
suggestion
not
that
forget,
they
PI
want.
thieving's already been a thing.
Yeah, exactly. But they made a suggestion that they wanted to have the ability to be able to target and shoot that guy stealing their stuff, and it's like, be careful what you wish for, because that means someone can target you. Like, hello.
Yes.
That would be good.
It's not a one-way street thing only. Like, that would be excellent to open
But they
up
want it that way.
high sec and low sec
they-
more so. But
They want a rat in their Science all day, all night, perfectly safe. But when somebody comes in to steal their loot, all of a sudden they want to be able to kill them. When in turn, if that were to be the rule, in turn they too would be target able.
Yeah.
Say bye-bye to that Science. So
It's called War Deck.
War decks. Yeah,
Yeah.
War decks win.
yeah, please, Vortex win. Yeah, and Bredrick's
I
right.
tell you,
mean,
if
most ratting
if
is
we had
solo,
war
too.
decks, if we had war decks 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, this game would be totally different.
100%.
Totally different.
Be a logistic warfare too.
Yeah, for sure.
With the War Deck, you can stop their ability to move stuff around.
Well, one of
and
those
load
big form-ups we had for Bozzy fight, I accidentally warped my fleet of 50 right on top of Burr's form-up location in Jeddah. So if you could imagine if there was a real war deck going on at that point, the fight would have started right there, as opposed to all the way down to Nullsec in Bozzy. So, which would have been great. That would have been fantastic. Start the war right there.
There'd be so much popcorn in that Jeddah station watching all the fireworks.
Yeah, it'd be great. Which would get those casual players who do go to Jeddah all the time really, really interested into what the hell's going on. So,
Yeah, I want to participate in that shit.
exactly. That would be great for the game. I think that would be fantastic. That and this update that they keep talking about every once in a while for faction warfare being changed to where it's actually like in-game as opposed to a siloed thing. If they really do that and bring that in the way that they talked about the last few times that we have discussed it with them, that would be another game changer.
They would need to think about how they implement it though, because when they implemented it on EVE Online, I made a corporation and I turned everyone into war deck on me. So I could fight everywhere.
Yep.
And they could not do anything about it. So then they changed it. So hopefully they have this in mind too. So that the casuals can still be casual. And yeah, something like that.
So it's got to be a two-sided agreement, right, in
It
order
does.
to do the war deck?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Which that server war last year probably would have been a whole hell of a different time
Whole different ball game.
had it been.
Everybody would have been
Oh
War
my
Deck.
gosh.
Yep.
Dude, that would have been an absolute slaughter.
Yep.
Crazy to think about that, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The word we're looking for there is
I
fun.
see Damon finally made it.
Damon's here.
Damon, late as usual. What's up,
Yeah,
Damon?
actually, I can do it.
Sure.
That didn't sound like Damon.
No.
No, it's just, I have a bad connection. I'm at the mall with the kids, and it's just really piss poor connection here.
Thanks for
He's
sharing it
sitting
with
at
us.
the mall. Everybody's looking at him.
All
all weird.
right.
I am back.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, basically, as far as the topic goes, I think we hit on a lot of points. Is there anything anybody else wanted to add as far as the topic goes for solo play?
No, I think that covers it.
Good.
Hey, well, thanks for the
Chief,
invite.
brother?
I gotta get off. I got a way station I'm coming up to.
All right, see you, man. Drive
Okay.
safe.
I will keep the invitation open for these for our guests to stay as we go through. Consider your suggestion, and I will start that now.
Okay.
It's time to consider your suggestion. All right, let's consider your suggestion. I'm going to go over to the Eve Echoes official Discord, go to the suggestions, and I'm going to, similarly to picking out a, what do you call it? Like a random topic. I'm just going to scroll up and down and figure out what kind of suggestions that we got and how many upvotes and downvotes that it has. And we could discuss on this whether or not we would consider it. And I'll invite the panel to include their opinions as well on some of these suggestions. So here we go. I landed on one here. Oh, jeez. This has been requested so much. I'll just go over it here. 47 upvotes. Holy and Evil. Make purple nanocores tradable.
Oh, man.
Like, 2024 Eve Echoes. Like, they should have been tradable, if not, months ago, if not years ago. You know?
Yeah, everything.
We haven't seen it yet. Basically, since the purple nanocore was introduced, they could have made them tradable, but decided against it. One, I want to say, is because they wanted to provide an incentive for people to do Concord Pass. There's paid cores within that, so of course they're going to want to try and monopolize on that. But like on cores like the Ascension or some of the older ones that we can't get anymore, they're probably worth quite a bit if people were to sell them. And people would probably pay it, honestly, depending on use factors, I guess you could say. But yeah, make them tradable. I mean, what's the holdup? Is it money?
It is money.
I think, yeah, just as you say.
That's it. They want you to have to be able to spend money to get it, or spend money on your Concord, or whatever. Now, they shot themselves in the foot with the way Concord is set up now, with how much you can get. I mean, you can get, if you pay for Concord, instead of even paying for Duo Omega, you just pay for regular basic Omega, and then you go and pay for Concord. That's cheaper than paying for Duo Omega, and you get more SP out of it, and you wind up getting 140,000 Concord points, which means those nanos now become extremely cheap. Really, over time, they do, in comparison to what they were before. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that, to where they've made them cheap enough at this point to where they don't even have an argument for not making them tradable from the standpoint of wanting to make money off of them, because they've just lowered the cost. They've just made them cheaper already.
I have a ton of them.
Yeah.
Just doing Concord, you can have a ton of purple cores.
I mean, it really only takes 2.5 months now to get enough for that 600,000 Concord points, which is crazy. I mean, if you really try for it, you're done in 2.5 months. And you have a nanocore for your, and you have a nanocore for your capital. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, they're pretty quick now.
Yeah,
it's surprisingly
maybe
quick.
3 months, but still, yeah.
Well, remember when those numbers came out, or that feature had come out? I mean, I'll go back to Hale did the video on it. You know, he had projected it's going to take 6 months at Concord, you know, to get all those points to be able to get that much. But then it turned out to not be the case.
So what you're saying, you get
quicker?
You get 150,000 points each month.
If you
continue the Concord Pass.
Yeah, if you buy the pass, the full pass, and you max it out and then keep going, because you can go past the 30 by quite a bit, up to like 40, 45.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get 140,000 points easy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that only on the paid one? Yeah, only on the paid one can you go over the 30.
Right. Only on the paid one, yeah.
Okay. I've been doing that one forever now, it seems like. So I guess it's only natural that I didn't know if it was on the free version of the Concord. Yeah, interesting. So I guess if you're on the free version, then you're not getting as much Concord points to be able to get these higher end nanocores. So it's only a matter of time when these things are. I mean, will they ever make them tradable? I think they've had some that were supposed to be tradable, but that never worked or something. I just don't know. I haven't traded any personally, but I thought it was supposed to be certain ones, and maybe it is. I just haven't gone out of my way to look at them to know whether or not you can actually buy or sell them.
Well, the
Okay.
future is distant. I mean, in the future, we're probably gonna be able to sell, at least as you say, the Ascension or the Blue Sky, or they would probably change it in the way they changed how we can dismantle them and change them into boxes again. So they probably start with Ascensions and stuff and make them tradable. I think so, but
Eventually.
eventually, yeah, it's not gonna be now. They have too much
Okay.
to do, I guess.
Bradrick, what are these suggestions that you're sharing? Because I could see them as unknown links, but what are the suggestions?
So one is for he's asking about the SOE, ways to get SOE debris and exploration, which I think would be a good idea.
Yeah, kill the
More
Asteros and
do-
Stratios that are doing exploring.
Yeah.
That's one way.
That's it.
That's actually the way to do it.
But what about for Mardus?
Yeah, then you just got to kill Garmers and
And that's it.
Mhm.
There's like nothing else.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
not.
but I like to see them put SOE and more do debris out in NoSec or even out in the drone lands. Just
No,
somewhere besides.
Just put it in there in the anomalies that are in those regions. There's SOE regions. There's Mordu regions. There's no reason not to put them out like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just random roams anywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
like a very small chance of spawning.
Right, and now you've got an area in game that you have to contest and go and hit.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad shout. Is if they had, so no, like they have Blood Raider, Dead Space or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, how about a Sisters of Eve, Dead Space that
Yeah.
spawns randomly wherever, high sec, low sec, null sec, whatever.
I'd rather them be regional though, not just random wherever.
Yeah, true. I mean, but we have to figure how are they going to implement it into this game, but not make super. I mean, consider that as a drastic change. They're going to have to change up a region. Well, it used to be Blood Raider is now SOE.
Yeah.
The people that are living there are like, oh, sweet, we're happy, or not, right? Because
Yeah.
I guess it could negatively affect people that are living in that region. But I guess I don't know. I think an anomaly edition would be a little bit easier.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think the SOE regions right now are Pureblind, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there may be some SOE NPC stations out in Cloud Ring.
Don't remember. the
Yeah,
name
or
of
is it
Cloud Ring.
before-
I know it's Pureblind
Before
for sure.
Cloud Ring, right?
Yeah, I've docked
Like
in
on the way.
NPC stations that were that were literally called Sisters of Eve.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just don't remember where those locations were. Could have been high sec, if all I know. I don't know. Moving capitals, you kind of dock
But
a lot.
It's definitely
It is what it is.
a place for it. They just need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one was add the ability to associate an implant with a ship if the pilot would like to. And guy
just
says
attach the
basically a
implant to the
miner and
ship.
a hauler, he has to switch. So everybody's been asking about that one over and over.
Yeah, Bradrick, you're sounding a little bit robotic there. I
Very
didn't really
much.
get. I couldn't really understand what the suggestion was and
The
point
suggestion-
you're making.
Yeah, it was to attach the implant to a specific ship. Because the ship fitting might suit for that implant.
Okay.
Like, let's say you have two Abaddons and one is a tank and one is a sniper. And then you don't know.
Or you
Then
just
you'd
keep
have
on
to-
undocking in the APOC with your mining implants still active, like me.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
what we
you get
want
the
to...
you get the cargo hold bonus, so you can loot additionally. But though I think with that is they have to make implants equal 1. And by that I mean you'd have to probably have multiple implants to make that fair.
No, I
You
think
get
what
what
would
I
be
mean?
better. I think it would be better than doing that is to simply have change up the way that interface is from when you first load into it. Same way you have like saved fittings, you should have saved implants, and by that I mean like a saved setup with GUs already in specific slots in a specific order, yada yada yada, and you can just go in from a drop down menu, just select the ones you've got named, and then it automatically just switches you to that and loads your GUs in, and off you go.
Yeah.
I think that would be better than having something that's attached to a ship, because I don't think that's ever going to be possible. Not with the way implants are worked. They'd have to totally redo implants. But an implant library would be fine.
Let's think of the reasoning as to why the suggestion is even being made. And Nestival points out, well, when you change your ship, it does give a notification that says your implant isn't the optimal implant, right? But when you're in a pinch, let's say, if you're in an Orca and you got PvP incoming, you dock real quick to jump into your PvP ship. Now you have to swap out your implant, which takes time to, I mean, granted, you just turned something that could have been 10 seconds into 30 seconds, and then you lose opportunities and whatever else on top of forgetfulness. I think that's a big one for a lot of people. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to jump in my Vass and I'm going to jump in my Visago and do some ratting. Oh shit. After my third ANOM, I realized I still have my mining implant on and I lost that DPS bonus, right? So I think a lot of that
all you need to be
play.
able to do is swap your implants while you're in space, which they've already said they're ready to do. You just go from focus crystal to mining, or mining to focus crystal, or whatever. And if as far as the GUs you need, don't be a snowflake and buy 2. Don't just have one level 10 GU. Buy 5.
Yeah, then you have to just put them.
But how do you change that in space?
You can't. But they did say that they're going to change it to where you can switch from one implant to another while you're in space. You won't be able to change your GUs, but you'll be able to switch your implants. So just have all your GUs set up, or all your implants set up with all the right GUs, multiple copies of the same GU for each implant, and off you go.
Yeah, that's just for the record. That's what I meant. I didn't mean attach it to the ship. I meant attach it, like you say, like on a, you know, yeah. It's my bad English. I'm sorry.
All good. But I do think if we could change them in space, I mean, it saves you time. It eliminates the need to dock, etc.
Yep.
All right, good suggestion. Here we go. I want to hit on this one because I find this one to be pretty interesting. Okay. NFG Prometheus. Allow people to opt out of bounties in a fleet. 9 upvotes.
Okay. So is that just to help carry individuals? Make sure they get a 50 mil tick or something like that?
Possibly.
I guess so.
I carry individuals, possibly alphas, that
or
maybe...
boxes.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird suggestion.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah,
People
that's.
opt
I
out of
mean,
bounties and
just send the guy the money. I mean.
Yeah,
but
well, if they're an alpha, you might not be able to.
Oh, okay. So you want to have nobody get the bounties except for the alpha, so that they get the bounties and they get paid faster.
Correct.
Yeah, another way to do that is just put something for sale up on the market for 1, let them go buy it off the market, then they can turn around and sell it on the market for the 20, 30 million it's worth, and there you go. That's easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, don't you? If you sell something for less than what a buy order is, does it let you go through with that?
Sure.
You can do it through the corporation.
True.
If they're in
I
the
suppose.
Yeah, you can do it in the corp too.
Are they able to? I don't know because I haven't tried it. But are alpha characters able to use corporation market?
Alpha character can't pick up a container, Bredrick, and you can't do contracts either. So it has to go through. It does have to go. There's some hoops you have to go through. Yeah. So like things like putting it on the market or the corp market, or I don't even know if you can use the corporation market in game actually, if you're an alpha.
Maybe you can't.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna have to let one of my alts drop Omega now just to find that out.
Just to find out, yeah. Yeah.
There you go. New update, new content video idea for Hale. There you go. What alphas can't do.
Yay.
And dude, it's a whole list. It's a whole list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of really is to pass ISK to alpha players. Otherwise, there's a lot of people that are soloing. Like if I wanted money on my alt that's an alpha, I put it in my fleet and I just send it along with my main and I just grind out the ISK. But if I opt out of ISK making on my main, then it gets split, technically split, but it gets sent all to the alt basically. But I know people, they get around this by having 100% tax too on those botting corporations. But we shouldn't talk about those, should we? Anyway. Let me scroll up a little bit, see if we could find...
I only got 20% on mine.
That's it? 20%?
Yeah. 20.
Okay. I feel like that we've talked about this one in the past. It's got 46 upvotes from Kark. Since C50 and C60 gases are basically useless, wouldn't it be great to use it to produce some fuel? Even producing low-grade fuel would be already better than stockpiling them with no use. I think we talked about this. It may have been just a repeat suggestion.
No, I don't remember that one.
46 upvotes.
I don't recall it. I'm all for complexity, though. I mean, so anything that makes things more complex, anything that gives more value to certain things that are already in the game that are just a nuisance, like those two gases, that would be great. I would definitely go for that in a heartbeat. Make it a new skill, but you have to have like 12 million SP in order to skill into it to do it right, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I got another one, and this one is especially good because we have the person who suggested it with us here.
Oh boy.
Okay?
It's Bradrick. Tell me what it's Bradrick
says. Bradrick says, ship reprocessing.
Again?
We can dismantle ships, can't we? Yeah, we can destroy them, can't we?
You can destroy it, but you can't get your minerals or anything back out of it. It's just a hull. You can repackage it.
Reprocess it.
Right.
That's it.
So
I think you should be able to
be able to get minerals back out of it.
Sure, why not?
Correct.
Let's take that one step further. I want them to get to the point to where you in your ship in space can get out in a pod and somebody else can take over that ship. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I also want you to be able to repackage or go all the way down to reprocessing that ship. Now you can hold someone at ransom in the gate camp, make them get out of their damn ship. Then you can repackage it for the debris or reprocess it for the debris, the minerals, the whole 9 yards.
Ship laundering when?
Exactly.
Not if you're an alpha.
Exactly.
Not if you're an alpha. I'm sorry,
it wouldn't hurt to make
you
it
cannot get into
possible.
the ship.
Trivia gate camp. You have to answer this question correctly in order to get through. And not die.
Well, they need the CAPTCHA gate camps. That's what they need.
CAPTCHA.
You know, are you a bot?
Are you a bot?
Yes or no? You can't get the gate. Can't get through the gate unless you answer the CAPTCHA.
Damn, this is something they're gonna implement, man.
I know. We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Give them ideas. They listen to the show. That's why Rambo's no longer a senior content creator.
That's why we do. That's why we do consider your suggestions. They've implemented some of the stuff that we've talked about. It's funny if you actually think about it. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, okay. I still have yet to see one that got like a lot of downvotes, like, you know, pure downvotes. I'm scrolling back. This is a couple days now. Holy crap, it's 10 days. I mean, suggestions are kind of slacking a little bit. Here's one that got 15 downvotes from Duck Soaps. Increase bounty combinations number per week and max. Higher than T10 has for lower tech levels instead of lowering them to help bridge the already increasing wealth gap. This could also help with player retention and increase lower tech playtime.
Hey,
I
I'm
think
not
people
sure how that
downvoted
would
it because
help
it doesn't make
anything.
sense.
I'd have to read that one because I don't think I understood the suggestion.
No, me neither. Me neither.
Yeah, I don't
Like any
I just don't think
suggestion
it
that
makes
says,
sense.
"Can we get more ISK done by this activity?" is just a bad suggestion.
Yeah, inflation's already a real
No,
issue in the game.
Yeah,
Numbers got to come down.
We
I'd
need
like
more
to see.
gameplay options, not ISK.
Yeah, I'd like to see ISK come back
Yes.
down to, or Plex anyway, come back down to sub 7 million. I think that'd be
Yeah,
great.
all right.
That'd be
Sub.
great for the
I
game.
call you
Sub
when that
7.
happens.
Remember, I was reporting on Plex being sold at 3 million a pop. And was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, what the heck is going on with this
Yeah.
game?
Now
Now
it's
you look
12.
at it, it's like 11. Oh,
11, 12,
it's
yeah.
just another day in New Eden.
Yep.
So
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think he's kind of going with one of the mechanics of the commendations is that T10s get 10 per week, where T8 only gets 8 per week. But the T8 and the max
the
is
other way
36.
around. The lower tech level players get more than the higher tech level players is where that
What?
suggestion seems to be going. So that the higher tech levels who earn more ISK per tick would have fewer ticks to cash in on, if that makes sense. To
So he
try and
wants to
level it
flip it.
out somehow.
Don't
Yeah.
take away my commendations. I use them all by Monday morning at 8 a.m.
Right. Wow. You see, he knows when they reset and everything.
Mm-hmm.
His bot farms. Yeah,
I keep forgetting them. I always have 40. It's like,
Oh, no,
damn.
I never have any.
No.
I'm always going and using them for the week before. It's like...
Yeah,
pop.
I'm to the point where I use as much as I need, and then when it resets, I get the full amount. And so technically, I'm not wasting any, though I'm not using them all either. Because as a T10 player, you only get 10 per week. So if you use 20, it doesn't, bring you back up to 40. You only get those 10 additional. So anyway,
It's a lot of grind, though. Still.
We'll do this last suggestion. We'll call it a show.
Sounds good.
Alright.
I'm at time, so perfect.
This one got 23 downvotes, 2 upvotes from Giotto. Removing the ISK from the sleepers boxes would be a small step toward decreasing inflation. 23 downvotes.
What?
That's like
So
nothing.
is he talking about? He's talking about
Roman
DR
rounds.
rewards, right?
That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's so
it's
trivial. It's not even a tick.
Considering you only get that like once a week, it's not
Yeah. What's the
not a
deal?
big deal.
True. Well, okay, so the 6 boxes, if you take the money from all 6 boxes, it's what, 100 mil?
It's not even that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I
the
mean,
amount
that's
that you
generous.
get from
I think
AI
100
is
mil.
like 10 times it.
Yeah. Get rid of AI.
Yeah, yeah, that will take away a lot of the inflammation.
Inflammation.
Yeah.
The swelling. That'll stop the swelling from occurring.
The inflation. Yeah. Do you have itchy, watery eyes? How about
Exactly.
destroy your AI? It'll help you. It'll take
I mean, they're
care of
never going to
that
get rid of
inflammation.
AI at this point. I mean, it's too baked into everything. It's not going to get ripped back out. They would piss off so many people. It's kind of one of those things that it's a slippery slope. Once you've gone there, you're not coming back, kind of thing. I'm
guilty of it.
It is what it is.
I spent the money to put AI or gold core on 2 characters. I mean, a lot of us are guilty for that. But yet again, we're paying customers, and so if they take that away, okay, do I get reimbursed my money? Well,
I mean,
did I get
if you look
my $20
in the software
worth
industry? It's kind of well established already in the software industry. If you look at platforms that you can like purchase TV shows or films, it has started happening where they just say, no, you are only renting the product. We could remove it whenever we wanted.
Yeah, that's fair.
NetEase wouldn't be the first to say, okay, we're recalling this product. It wouldn't be the first. Plenty of Western companies have already done it.
I suppose. Yeah, we spend money on this game, and basically when you spend it, you consider it lost cause anyway, right? Whether or not you get the worth out of it at a later time. I mean, did I get my $20 worth out of the AI core since its release? Sure. I'll give them that. Sure.
Yeah.
I would consider it. So, anyway, I think we can call it there.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna start the outro, but as we do that, I want to thank our panel of guests for not only doing the roundtable, Hale, Frederick, Ashiv, Nesbel. Thank you for joining the show and doing the Consider Your Suggestion with us.
Thanks, guys.
As well as the audience, thank you all for joining, and great show. See you next week, 07.
Thank you all for listening to this week's episode of Echoes of New Eden podcast. Please take a moment to follow us on Apple and Spotify, or subscribe to our YouTube or our Twitch channel for all the content that we release. I'd like to take this time to give a shout out to the E1 sponsored content creators. If you haven't checked out these content creators, please support them as well. Damon Cell from Echoes of Last Year, Mario from Echoes.mobi, Jubilaus PvP videos, Hell, your latest Benzie wannabe, and Eclipse PvP. We will see you next week for all the latest Indie of Echoes news. Join us live on Discord or listen on one of our platforms. To all our listeners out there, fly safe, get good, and 07.
Slowly pull it out, they went over.